Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations and shout out to all of my early risers out there. This is Body-Culinary, and I came to touch in its early day, first of all, to really take advantage of these wee hours and shout out to all of those people that are participating in the 3 and 7 day nutritional reset. So really, really excited about that. And you can find out about that on body-culinary.com. That's all whole living foods, right? For the whole 3 or 7 days, whichever you should choose. So we're not doing powders, pills, all just fresh, whole living foods. And if you've been on this channel for a little bit, you know that we have 3 practices that I love to share that I found very grounding that can really stay with you throughout the course of your life. And that is peaceful consumption patterns that are peaceful to your brain, your arteries, your colon, your skin, your longevity, your vitality. And then we also have garden therapy. Everyone can grow something, even if it's just 2 plants, something to eat and something beautiful to look at, even if that's a fresh herb. And then we also have your personal movement practice. You can put dance in there, you can put yoga, flexibility. But it's really, really important that we move, not just for aesthetics. That's a nice side benefit, but it's also a way to really, really shake a lot of stress off and out of your body, literally. So those are 3 lifestyle practices. And I am Body-Culinary. I am a professional chef. I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a mother and a natural born woman. And I love a natural lifestyle as close as I can get to it in these times that we are living in. So, welcome to my channel. Uh, I really share a lot of my journey of radical self acceptance, right? The unique features that I popped out onto this 3D earth plane with. I'm a person with very fine, very delicate, kinky, carpety, afro textured hair. And I've been a returning natural for decades. However, I have freeform locks now, a semi freeform locks, because I do separate them a little bit. And so I'm going along for the ride to see what my hair does. I'm still learning all these years later what my hair does, what my skin does. I've had loads of acne before, so it's really, I feel fortunate at this time to not have to wear a bunch of makeup. So we have options. We have options, right? Things that you feel comfortable with. And that's what I wanted to touch in on today. Does your comfort even matter? And I find the early wee hours are a wonderful time to really tune in and listen and observe your internal dialogue and how it is making you feel and how it could perhaps be driving your subconscious behaviors, right? We do know that science lets us know that most of our waking behaviors, our conscious waking behaviors, are driven by the subconscious. So feel free to grab yourself some water in a wine glass. I have some water. It's like warm, hot. And also this early day, I have some fresh ginger. So literally the knobs of ginger. So for those folks that are on the 3 and 7 day nutritional reset, yes, I will gently scrape this with a spoon. You can do a knife. However, you want to scrape it as thin as possible so you preserve a lot of your ginger. Ginger prices have gotten really expensive, especially as some people have been looking for natural alternatives to keep your lungs open. If you feel any kind of a little sniffle or something, I'm chewing on fresh ginger, which gives you a lot of heat. So grab your water in a wine glass or your tea, and let's connect this early day. And this one holds a good amount of water. It's so soothing and early and good for your digestion. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I don't want to, or rather, I'd like to remember to remind folks that there are several resources that I have available. Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. So they can give you ideas of what to do with all this produce that you're going to be spending on, which you may be spending on, which might be rotting down inside of the refrigerator. So Whole Living Foods in the Hood, any kind of questions you can ask for someone that's been on this path for 12 years, I don't know, maybe going on 13 years. Whole Fresh Living plants. You can add whatever else you want to it. However, if you crowd out and crowd in all that fresh produce, it does a lot of what it needs to do for you. And it's a lot less expensive than supplements. There's also Natural Beauty No Products, Only Food. It's food that I put inside primarily whole living fresh foods and then on the outside of my skin. If I can't eat it, I don't put it on my body. So those resources, as well as Goddess Cakes, Raw Vegan Cakes, that workshop is available. Healthy Eating for Men, plant-based. Emergency preparedness and food preservation, if you're on this lifestyle. All those resources are available, as well as common sense nutrition classes, efficient, effective fitness, if you want to cut the guesswork out of your fitness. All that's available on body-culinary.com. So feel free to go over there if you need to reach out or contact me. If you'd like to curate a personal retreat for yourself, whether that's virtually or in person, you can reach out to me at info@body-culinary.com. So that being said, does our comfort even matter? So I can definitely say I remember one time having some shoes. Oh my gosh, I had some shoes on, that patent leather shoes with a style and mermaid leather skirts with a style back in the day, as well as pink Timberlands and sheepskin coats. So I remember these patent leather shoes. They were so cute, but they were so, oh my gosh, they were pinching my toes. And one day I was coming home and I had these shoes on. My feet were hurting me so bad. I took the shoes off and I was walking in the street with no shoes on. It was like a dirty sidewalk. Like I couldn't take it. It felt like I had pit bulls gnawing on my toes. And I've had several instances like that with some expensive shoes that I spent several $100s for, that I actually tossed in the garbage, or gave them away because I was like, this is so uncomfortable. I remember thinking, like, why am I torturing myself? And then I can always refer back to those times. I'll never forget my scalp being covered with scabs from chemical burns from a no-lie relaxer. A no-lie relax. That's a lie. A no-lie, which was a big lie, relaxer. My scalp was covered. Even when I put my hand, that's something I'll never forget. My scalp was covered with scabs. And then I had singe marks on my ears from the straightening and the hot comb. Then I don't know if my hair even fully grows back from having braids that's too tight. So it's interesting. I marvel at the things that human beings that we do to be part of the group or for validation. And I'm not here to make us feel bad or wrong. I think it's wonderful to use these early morning hours to be quiet and to take advantage, to leverage not so much noise going on, to tune in and to listen and to peep our divine onboard innate intelligence that every one of us was born with, right? Doesn't need a middleman or middlewoman. To listen to the dialogue, the communication, the language, the speech that's going on like a ticker tape all the time, and what it has to say about how we would like to be seen by others. And there's so much going on in the world right now. Some of it could be very triggering. Some of it has been laid out in some of these different movies, right? These altered realities, as we hear now about the metaverse and these altered realities. You know, there's been films that have come out that you're looking through the screen, but you're really in your house, maybe an unhelpful weight, but it doesn't matter because you can put a whole avatar on. You know, it's interesting, like where's the human species going in terms of the mask, and feeling like an anxiety. It's becoming normalized, like you can't take off the mask. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with artistic expression, and you'll have to find what that sweet spot is with your food, your movement practice, your artistic expression in the world. However, we can see at younger and younger ages that there is a drive to alter ourselves in sometimes very dangerous ways in order to be accepted for a job, or to be chosen, and chosen for what, for how long. You know, it doesn't tell the full picture of treatment. It doesn't tell the full picture. What we're seeing online doesn't tell the full picture of what you can't see and how people are living when we come off of these screens. You know, we're seeing some of the most stunningly physically beautiful women in the world be left, divorced, I'm abused. So the mask, is it really worth it? The mask that we put on. And I think more so the concern is not, at least this is just one woman's perspective, not the only perspective, is not so much the expression. It's how do we feel if we take it off, if we're feeling an anxiety like we can't take it off, right? Like if we feel like we're a letdown without the mask. So I have made a decision to take certain things off the table for my peace of mind, for me to feel grounded, the sense of being validated from outside of myself. When folks sitting around in the boardroom deciding uh, what they want to project at me to buy, that there's an undercurrent of triggering insecurities if I don't have these products, and I'm not good enough, because this is what I popped out onto the planet with. And it's such a journey, these little experiences, more than a superficial mask, even noticing how my hair behaves, the natural color. I could listen to a dialogue. Oh my gosh, it's dry. You can't have dry hair. If you have dry hair, you look poor, or you look like a bum, or it's not perceived as clean. It's these subtle dialogue, this subtle communication. And where did these thoughts come from? Where did this narrative come from? I didn't make it up, but if you quiet and you listen, you can hear and you can feel, you can sense it, and it's driving a lot of our behaviors, our knee-jerk reactions, right? So, all of my hair being flat, like super flat. Now I can really see it. It's super duper flat. However, this is healthiest for my hair. It's what the hair wants to do. It's definitely no stress. It dries very easily. It's lightweight. It's fluffy. It stretches. It shrinks. But more than anything, the comfort that I have, like the sense of relief of not having to turn myself inside out, not even with the twisting to get it to lay this way or that way. And you can do all of those things. However, I know for me, I'm prioritizing my peace of mind. And for me, the less that I have to do to myself, and I can feel like I can still luxuriate with natural oils, and first line of defense are the natural foods I'm eating inside. I feel a sense of relief. People are calling it minimalism, but it's just really just being. The fact that I don't have to put on makeup, that was like torture. It's different if I'm being playful and expressive. At one point, I used to love to put on brown and blue mascara. There's a distinction, a sweet spot, and you'll have to find that for yourself. However, I question whether, and you'll have to decide if your comfort of your toes, of you being able to sit and relax after you've eaten a meal to allow your organs to relax. When you look past the mirror, is the internal dialogue hypercritical, cruel, mean, or do you ever catch yourself smiling in the mirror at yourself, whatever your age, if you have acne or not? Can you smile and be comfortable, in yourself? Yesterday, I saw this lovely channel on TikTok, and there was this chocolate woman. She's married to a Hispanic man, and they were such a joy to watch. So she's more voluptuous, more fuller, heavier shaped, and she was just having so much fun in her life and fun with her husband, And someone very dear to me, I put out the question, what is this discussion online? Do you wait for love until after you lost weight? And maybe one time, many years ago, as a personal trainer, I can think of so many reasons, especially with the history of morbid obesity, that I would think like, you're going to attract predators if you're not in shape because it's perceived as low esteem. And so, the more you're out here, hopefully, the more season and life experience we get, the more we can expand our perspective. And so to watch this woman living her best life, her character, her fun, her whole energy is recognized by her husband, by her man, and she's being celebrated. Now, as I watched through some of their quick videos, I saw that she was even bigger, unhealthily overweight, 400 pounds at one point. However, she said she used to be depressed and stressed. Um, to watch her just in her essence and in her confidence, because she knows how far she's come, and to watch her and her man loving up on her is really, I find it very, very affirming. I found a lot of positivity, even I can say from some women with makeup, with the transformation, women, you know, exploring how they present themselves, because really it's your choice, it's your body, and it's your choice whether you want to wear makeup, don't wear makeup. But I have found a lot of inspiration from looking at women very comfortable in their bodies that are larger. Now that doesn't mean that we should ignore health, right, and the markers for health. However, I would say it's a love yourself to another level and love yourself now, because being hypercritical and being dissatisfied with yourself now often leads to more medicating, self medication, and self soothing, often with food or alcohol or other substances. So the the sitting in your confidence now, I've seen it numerous times. I find it extremely inspiring. And it's an energy, and I'm so glad that it's being more recognized, especially as someone that works in fitness as a trainer and that's been around some of the most beautiful sculpted bodies. I've been around beautiful sculpted bodies and a total absence of character, or with just very dry, very rigid personalities. So the energy that you carry, and part of that is coming from your internal dialogue and how you feel about yourself. That ticker tape of emotions, if it's hypercritical, if it got put there because you were criticized a lot as a child, or maybe you were traumatized or mishandled. Greetings. It's all of it, and that's going on in this brain computer. It comes to the surface and it shows itself. Fortunately, we have the opportunity to be very intentional about choosing our dialogue, becoming aware first, awareness first. We can't change something, alter something we're not aware of. We can add, being that with these highly programmable creatures, as I've observed, you can reprogram yourself. Maybe you can never extract all the programming that's been put there, but perhaps you can intentionally reprogram yourself, right? I like to say I've retrained my eyes, right, to be more comfortable around the frizz, and I see a piece of aloe in my hair. And one time I was really anxious. I didn't know what my hair would look like if I left it on and I let it join. But I found it's complimentary to me. So I've literally retrained my eyes. Right now, I'm enjoying my toes with no toenail polish. I can put polish on, and some good quality polish, or vegan polish or whatever. But I find myself smiling when I look at my toes, because I'm enjoying my body temple. So that has been very intentional. The appreciation, usually in the appreciation of your body, you're more likely to make more healthful choices when you are in a state of being, right? The I am. When you feel like whatever your subtle, quiet I am is, if it's I'm irritated or I'm angry, more than likely you will self medicate. If you feel like, you know what, I really like myself, right? I like myself as a person. I'm getting better and better every day. I'm working on this. This is the best I've got. Usually, it's a scale of making yourself feel better. And when you feel better, especially in those quiet moments, you're more than likely to make better choices for yourself. So, feeling comfortable in your skin, I find it is revolutionary, especially in the times that we're in, to be comfortable, to sit on the throne of your own existence, unwavering, not moving off your throne. This is what it is. This is what I've got. I make the effort to take very good care of my body temple. Things could still happen. It's like sitting in the acceptance of that, all of it, the positive and the negative of it. It will age, it will change. When you sit with that rather than being fearful around it, you can release, or at least be objective in looking at the fear, then you can proceed. Because the fear and the hypercriticalness can keep us in a loop of stinking thinking, paralyzed in inactivity, paralyzed into inactivity. So I love to encourage folks to seek support for yourself. Support that, how can you measure really quality support? If you're motivated to get into action around what you say you value, when you leave your interactions, whoever it is that you're speaking to, or whatever you're ingesting on these screens, which, believe it or not, is dramatically affecting us as a species. It's driving a lot of our behaviors and triggering knee-jerk reactions that go past your logic. Are you noticing that after different interactions, or as you intake or you consume information interactions, that you are freaked out and you start munching mindlessly? You trigger. I find some of the fright and fear, I find it's triggering. So to slow down and to have an awareness of that can be really, really useful. And do you notice, in your quiet moments, if I look at some of my favorite fitness people, or I love to watch Olympic athletes. I always have to watch them train, to watch somebody really pushing themselves to their human potential. I love to watch people studying. I love to watch people in the garden. Those things inspire me to get into action. It's forms of consumption. One of the things I love about living foods is when I know that I'm eating the best that I can, I take that off the table. I don't worry about food anymore. Now I can focus on, now that I'm satiated, I got lots of water, fiber, nutrients, I can notice the knee-jerk reactions. I can notice, wow, if there's a trigger for me to eat, but I'm not hungry, right? So I've taken a lot off the table. I take the hair off the table. I'm not worrying about it because I'm not twisted. I'm not doing anything. The more that I can take off the table, the more I can make space. I can make space to cultivate an awareness. I can make much more conscientious decisions, right? I can hear and take instruction from my own divine onboard innate intelligence, more so than my ego. It's a part of the human nature and part of our mental processing. There's that ego that's very, very fearful, that makes fear-based decisions, often putting ourselves in harm's way. And then that quiet divine innate intelligence that says, you know what? Let's see what happens if we take off the makeup. If I'm horrified, if I feel comfortable in my own skin. What's the most important? Most important is how I feel. So, how about I take better care of my health? Do I feel better? I'm noticing if my body is bloated or is carrying more undigested meals. It's the quiet. I can't say enough about cultivating quiet from the inside. We are really encouraged, and here comes one of my bunnies. We're really, really encouraged to noise, and all the noise, which is why I love the early day. You can't hear all of it at the same time. It's a lot of crossed waves. It's not likely that we'll tune into that innate intelligence. You're trying to eat my ginger, Magical. Are you coming over here? Are you coming over here, Magical? Why are you coming over here? I gave you a big thing of bok choy for wardrobe. You wanted to come over here? You want to come over here? You're going to eat my ginger? Go ahead, baby. So, being comfortable in your own skin, being pain free, it's like we're inflicting a lot of stuff on us. We're inflicting a lot on ourselves. I know we may not think of ourselves as 1 trillion cells, but about 1 trillion cells, skin cells, cardiac cells, internal cells, smooth muscle cells, and cells eat and they poop and they're communicating with each other all the time. Brain cells, some of the cells go haywire. So everything that we're eating is a communication to ourselves. And there's sets of instructions. What we're taking in through these screens, we have to process and do something with all that we are taking in. So quiet, quiet creates comfort. Might be a little bit discomfort too when you see some of the ornery stuff that comes up, but eventually you can create space for it to pass and to calm yourself down. These lifestyle practices, I'm calling them Afroflower practices. Peaceful consumption that's peaceful to your brain, arteries, skin, colon, your personal movement practice in your garden. We have access to them even if you're in a city. I started out in a cold city, planting things in all kinds of recycled containers on the fire escape inside my apartment. It's therapeutic. The plants are communicating to you all the time, just like the acne is a communication. The additional adipose tissue, which is a technical term for fatty tissue, it's a communication. So rather than demonizing them, making them wrong, it's a communication. But the signals are crossed because a lot of our the thoughts are thoughts that have been implanted. They're not even our own original thoughts. So I'm inviting you today, this early day, to just consider, are you comfortable? Are your feet comfortable? Is your scalp comfortable? Are we squishing and fighting to make ourselves, like round pegs fit into a square hole? Can you sit in how you popped out onto this planet in peace, cultivating your own peace? So you're welcome to join me for a few minutes of some breathing. This we have access to. You don't need $1 million to go off to a cave or to an ashram. Sometimes you may need to do that in the middle of the day where all the noise comes in and you forget your intentions that you set for yourself at the beginning of the day to eat better or to get into your movement practice. It doesn't make any sense if we're not paying ourselves first with our time in this human suit, if we're not getting vigorous, joyous movement, if we're not communing with plants because it's therapeutic, and if we're not feeding ourselves beautiful, delicious foods that, adds to our vitality and longevity, then what are we doing? We're just working to pay for a whole bunch of stuff to live in a storage space full of stuff we don't use. So you're welcome to sit and take a comfortable position with your spine nice and upright, creating a lot of space between your shoulder and your ears. We're just going to be breathing in and out through the nose. So we make sure our spine is nice and tall so the air can travel freely throughout the spine. So not through the mouth today, just through the nose. I invite you to really pay attention to your exhale and your inhale to make them nice and long as possible and as even as possible. So you're invited to tap into your own divine onboard innate intelligence. Just do a check-in with yourself. Do you feel comfortable? Do you allow yourself to feel comfortable from your shoes to your clothing? Do you feel comfortable? Do you have additional weight or undigested meals? And how can you create more space for more comfort and ease in your body? So I'm inviting you today to feed yourself the most beautiful, colorful, water-rich, nutrient-dense, life force-filled, high-octane fuel that is available to you. And I'm inviting you to create a great day on purpose, just because you said so. And as a side note, I invite you to make your movement practice the best part of your day, the bestest part of your day. So if you find value here, feel free to like, comment. Your respectful feedback is always welcome. And subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you know when I go live. A lot of times I'll go live in the early days. Y'all create a great day on purpose. You can check out Kitty Cool. Here's the other one. Say hi, Kitty Cool. Say hi, Poopy Doopy. Hi, Poopy Doopy. Hi, Poopy Doopy. What you doing? You finished eating your cilantro? Eat that shit for breakfast. Finish eating your cilantro? Hmm? Okay. Here you go, Poopy Doopy. So I'm Kwasa with a K, Peaceful Eating on TikTok, Body-Culinary on Instagram, and also on Facebook. If you're going to join us for the 3 and 7 day nutritional reset, that's all live foods, nothing is cooked. You can have warm teas, and I do understand it's a colder time of the year. So there are some considerations for that, but it's all fresh, whole, living foods, and it can really be a gateway to upgrading your consumption patterns. So you can check that out on body-culinary.com. I will see y'all real soon. Create a great day on purpose.